Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, a Week 5 Monday night preview. Raiders, Packers. On top of that, I'm going to give you some keys to victory, and we're going to talk about some Raiders injury news around Jimmy Garoppolo, Davante Adams, and Nate Hobbs. As it stands right now, the Packers 2-2. The Raiders 1-3. We're going to get a lot of Packers fans that join this show because it is a preview about them after all. So I need the nation to dominate. I need every person right now to treat this like the Oakland Coliseum. I know what Allegiant is, and I'm hoping that there is a day that Allegiant gets close to what the Coliseum was. But I need nothing but LVs in this comment section. I know the Raiders have been a very frustrating team, but you know what? Raider Nation is undefeated, and I want to keep that thing going here. So let's get some LVs flowing down below. So let's go to my keys to victory first here on the offensive side of the football, and then we'll go to the defense here. No turnovers. This one is simple. The Raiders have turned the football over every single game. When you got a quarterback like Jimmy Garoppolo, when you got a defense like the Raiders' defense, when you have a running game that has really, really struggled, and you got a head coach like Josh McDaniels, here's the thing. You can't turn the football over. You're not good enough to turn the football over. And if you continually do that, you will continually lose football games. As it stands right now, the Las Vegas Raiders have turned the football over the second most in the National Football League. Can't happen. Clean it up, McDaniels. Clean it up, Garoppolo. Clean it up, Raiders. It needs to happen. Let's go to the next thing here. Run the rock with Josh Jacobs. The Green Bay Packers this season are one of the worst teams in the NFL. They have given up the 5th most rushing yards to the running back position. I get it. They're probably going to crowd the box. They're going to do that. But you know what? If you crowd the box, I would imagine that Davante Adams in this one wants a little bit of a revenge game. He probably has the utmost respect for Green Bay. But at the end of the day, man, you're going up against your old team. That's got to mean something to you. I want the Raiders to get Josh Jacobs going early and often, use him in every way possible. But it's not only Josh Jacobs. I want them to use Jacobs the way they did last week in the passing game, but I also want to see a little bit more out of a guy like Amir Abdullah, for example. As it stands right now, the Packers have given up the most receiving yards to the running back position this season, as I am making this video. So when you hear that, and you know they've given up a lot of receptions, you know that the Packers say, you know what, we're not going to focus as much on the running back position. That means that you have opportunities there. And sure, even if the Raiders' running game is struggling a little bit, you can run through the air by just checking it down here or there, especially if they're going to go out there and play man coverage. So to me, you got to use your running backs in the passing game. Let's go to the next one here. Can somebody please tell this coaching staff to use Michael Mayer and Trey Tucker the correct way? Michael Mayer is actually getting open. Like, when you look at his next-gen stats, when you look at his statistics in terms of separation, he's getting open. Right now, as it stands, 67 qualifying tight ends. He's getting open the 18th best. And some of y'all here, 18. He still could be used, but for whatever reason, they're just throwing him out there and they're having him block the entire time. Michael Mayer is showing you he can't block right now. It might come with time, but use him the way that you drafted him, which is he's a hell of a receiving tight end. Use that. And then Trey Tucker, use his speed. Use the end arounds. Use the pre-snap motion. Trey Tucker's separation is there. Teams are playing back off of him because they are afraid of his speed. Maybe a few extra screens. All I'm saying is put your ball in your playmakers' hands. Giggity. And then the final one here is this: make adjustments. The Raiders are one of the best teams in the NFL right now, 7th best in the league in terms of points scored in the first quarter. They are 31st in points scored in the second and the third quarter. You know why? Because they don't make adjustments. Sure, they've been a little bit better in the fourth quarter as well, but there's been some garbage points there. If I'm Josh McDaniels, I got to look at myself in the mirror, and I got to say, I got one of the most talented offenses in the league. We're averaging about 17 points per game right now. How can I do better? How can I do better? So, Josh McDaniels, I know you got a burner account on Twitter. You were tweeting at me at Mitchell Renz 365, so I bet you probably watch this show too. Make some adjustments, because if you don't start making an adjustment, the only adjustment that's going to happen is you're not going to be the head coach anymore. Josh McDaniels is 0-2 on Monday Night Football. Since he was caught cheating, he's 12-31. Something needs to change, Josh. You don't got Tom Brady anymore, and I'm sick and tired of watching this offensive mastermind just run a 1960 style of offense that is as plain and boring as can be. Imagine going to the best burger spot. Imagine going to Barcode Burger, and you ask for a well-done burger, no cheese. That's it. That's the type of offense I'm getting right now from Josh McDaniels. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, I got my defensive keys against the Green Bay Packers. And I see it right now in the live show. If you want the Raiders to fire Josh McDaniels, spam fire Josh McDaniels. Something else that I know that y'all love. I know Raider Nation's always about a deal because, shit, who doesn't like a good deal? And shout out to our sponsor, Game Time, which, if you haven't already downloaded this app, man, I don't know what the heck you're waiting for. $20 off with code RaidersChat. So Raider Nation, create an account and redeem code RaidersChat for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. You can forget about planning months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. So you can get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. It is the perfect app for buying tickets when you're planning on visiting Las Vegas. So download the Game Time app today. Create an account. Use code RaidersChat for $20 off your first purchase. If you can't find that link, don't worry. Jeremy Chugs is spamming it right now in our live chat. It's also going to be able to be found in the comments and in the description of today's show. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Redeem code RaidersChat for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Shout out to Game Time for sponsoring the Raiders Report. All right, now let's talk about the keys to defense. And what's crazy is the defense hasn't really been the problem this season. It's been the offense. So in terms of my keys to defense, if they play the way that they did in the second half up against the Los Angeles Chargers, we're going to win this football game. We're going to win this football game. Now, obviously, that's if we don't turn the football over. But my biggest one here for the defense is you got to force turnovers. Right now, the Raiders are dead last in the NFL in turnover differential. What's so frustrating about that statement is it's the same thing every single year. We turn the ball over, and we can never force any turnovers. We have 0 forced fumbles and 1 interception. Sure, should have another one with Marcus Peters on a drop pick 6, and Merrick had a drop pick the other day. I get it. He's got a club on his hand. If you want to win in the league, you got to start forcing some turnovers. One of the ways to do that is to get more pressure on the QB, which kind of goes hand in hand. Let's go to another one here. You got to control thunder and lightning. If you missed Josh McDaniels' press conference this week, he referred to Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon as thunder and lightning. Aaron Jones is a dynamic running back, good speed, can run between the tackles, can catch the football very effectively. And then you also got A.J. Dillon. That dude is a tough guy to bring down. And I'm telling y'all right now, if the Raiders are losing and you got to try to tackle A.J. Dillon at the end of a fourth quarter game, good luck. So Robert Spillane, I'm looking at you. Divine Diablo, I'm definitely looking at you after a shitty performance that you had last week with 3 missed tackles. I want Luke Masterson to get some more run. Curtis Bolton, unfortunately, is injured, so he's definitely not going to be playing in this one. And then Amari Burney. Will we see the rookie? I don't know the answer. But if you really want to control their running game, we got to win up front. We got to win up front. John Jenkins has been playing well. Bilal Nichols is arguably coming off one of his better games against the Chargers. Adam Butler's been solid. Really, you only have 3 options here because Jerry Tillery stinks. Byron Young was inactive last week. Nesta Jade Silvero got some run, was not very good. But hey, Josh, Patrick Graham, make some adjustments on defense. We got to change it up a little bit. Let's go to the next key to defense here for the Raiders. You got to limit the big plays. Right now, the Green Bay Packers are one of the best teams in the NFL in terms of long passing plays. You know, controlling the thunder and lightning big plays is also in there for the ground game, but Jordan Love's got a big arm. They're going to have Christian Watson in this football game. They're going to be trying to stretch the field. That's what Green Bay likes to do. They're actually an intelligent offense. They do what their offense is made to do, stretch the football down the field. And if the Raiders can limit those big plays, I do think it can help them out. And the reason is, I don't see the Raiders creating many big plays with Jimmy Noodle Arm Garoppolo. Let's go to the next one here. It's someone, please, for the love of God, help out Maxx Crosby. I feel like I could say this every single week for a key to victory on defense. But my goodness, somebody else help this man out here. We know that Crosby's going to give it his all. He is one of the best, one of the most underappreciated players in the NFL. And I want more people to see how great he is. And he's going to go out there and he's going to ball out on Monday night. People are going to wake up Tuesday morning. They're going to go, holy shit, that Maxx Crosby guy is pretty good. He is pretty good. He's one of the best in the biz. Somebody help him out. Is that Tyree Wilson? I don't know. Is that Malcolm Kuntz? I don't know. Somebody needs to step up and help out 98, because if 98 can get a few one-on-ones, it's going to result in some serious sacks. And then here's my final one. I think Rich Bisaccia has been cooking up something. Since the moment that he didn't get hired, he has seen this game on the calendar, and he goes, you know what? I got something special. I'm calling it right now. The Green Bay Packers on special teams will run a trick play on Monday Night Football. They want some revenge. They want Bisaccia to call a play, and if I'm the Raiders this week, I'm spending an extra 30 minutes every day at practice to make sure that I'm prepared for the Green Bay Packers to run some sort of trick play, whether it's a field goal, whether it's a punt, maybe it might even be an onside kick again. I don't know. But to me, the Packers on Monday Night Football with Rich Bisaccia, they're going to try to do something. The question is, will the Raiders be ready? And even asking that question makes me nervous. So those are my keys to the Las Vegas Raiders taking down the Green Bay Packers. But hey, we still got some injury updates that I do want to be able to discuss, and that's part of what we do here on the show anyway. Keep you guys up to date with news and rumors. Jimmy Garoppolo still questionable against the Green Bay Packers at the time I am making this video, which is Thursday. He is still yet to pass concussion protocol, though he practiced last week. He's practicing this week. I anticipate he's going to be out there. Josh McDaniels anticipates that he's going to be out there, which means he's going to be your starter. Davante Adams is dealing with a shoulder injury. If you remember in last week's game, he had to leave briefly, did end up finishing the game. I actually don't think that you're going to see Davante out there practicing all too much because he's Davante Adams. Why even risk it? But there's no way in hell I think that you don't see Davante up against his old team, the Green Bay Packers. And then the final injury here is Nate Hobbs. Nate Hobbs ended up missing last week's game. I'm hoping that we get to see him this week. I mean, the defense played well. Shout out to Amik Robertson. Shout out to David Long. I mean, both those guys I thought played pretty damn well. But now you're going up against Green Bay. I want Nate Hobbs because, yes, Christian Watson stretches the field. They also got some good slot receivers in there that I would like Hobbs to be able to go out there and potentially take away. Yeah, the Raiders played well last week. But let's face it, we're a better defense when Nate Hobbs is out there on the field. As it stands right now, the Green Bay Packers are favored in this game by 2.5 points, and the over-under is 44.5 points. I like the Raiders to win this game. I'm taking the silver and black, and maybe I'm crazy, but you know what, man? I'm a lot happier when the Raiders win. So, fingers crossed that the Raiders win. Predict the score down below. Packers, Raiders. Let me know what you guys are thinking here. For me personally, the score prediction I gave at work was 24-23. Give me the Raiders to win. If you want to know what our live schedule is for this entire week and everything going forward, we're going to be live every single day, basically from here on out, from not Saturday and Friday. Depends when this video goes out, to be honest with you. But Thursday, we're live right now for Bears, Commanders. Then we're going to be live on Sunday rooting against the Chiefs, rooting against the Broncos. At that time, Monday Night Football, Raiders, Packers will be live for that. And then we'll do a Tuesday overreaction live show as well, 4 p.m. Eastern time. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and join Jeremy Chugs and I for an interesting week here at the Raiders Report.